here's some a lot of people didn't know. And shouts out to my man Banks. Man, Banks, this is an M.O.P. story for you. Alright? Because you've been asking me about M.O.P. for like 2 years. And I'm like, dog, some of these stuff cannot go on YouTube. That's just facts, bruh. I trying to tell you like many times, like, dog, you just can't talk about it. Plus, I don't be on Facebook like that. I try to tell people I'm not on Facebook like that all the time. I'm only talking to like family on there. But people, I never send them there, yet people go and follow my Facebook. They be like, I ain't got Twitter. I don't got a gram. I mean, alright. But, so don't get like upset if I don't respond to you over there. I'm barely there. Now, back to this story. Now, when M.O.P. came out, you know, my main fame up for prospect, love and disrespect. Lil Fame, that's who Big was talking about in the rap. Up in Warning. So, you know, that's for people who didn't know. But, back to the story. I got sidetracked. When M.O.P. came out, first time I ever heard of them is when they did How About Some Hardcore. That was on the How About Some Hardcore, yeah, we like it raw. They did mostly anthem type songs. They were like another Onyx. You know, they remind you of Onyx. And that's what people was like, man, they kind of remind me of Onyx. And they was out in 92 just like Onyx, you know, doing their thing. Then, you know, Hype Williams was just getting started and he made that little video for him. So it helped them get a record deal. Now, at the same time, Eazy E was going through a change during that time with Dr. Dre and everything, with Ruthless Records and Priority Records. You know, Brian did them wrong. Brian Turner did them wrong. And, you know, screwed them over in the deal. So, you know, they were looking like, well, there ain't going to be no N.W.A. We really don't need, you know, Ruthless Records, because besides that, that was the only thing that was really cracking. And here they are with a massive album selling records. And they getting ready to tour to really get their money. And the group break up. So, on the heels of this, Priority is giving them hell. So in 93, Eazy E puts out basically his last records on Priority. And that was the EP, the Only If You Want It. And it sold like 500,000, went gold. And he was going to put out the Temporarily Insane, that feature album, which he was working on with them. But Priority was messing up the distribution, and they were only caring about, you know, Ice Cube and all the new stuff that was going over there. So Eazy E ventured on over to Relativity Records, which was an East Coast based distribution, and he wanted to come out there and work with them because they was like, they were up and coming, Relativity, and they were like, we're open, you know, we got the platform to get you guys going. So they signed Eazy E to a deal at Relativity. And once he got this deal at Relativity Records, when he was going out there negotiating and getting all this done, the song that was out, you know, they had an album out, and he was listening to the Death album by I think M.O.P. album, like To the Death, that debut album. And then he had the How About Some Hardcore. So he wanted to get it, you know, Eazy wanted to get an East Coast, Midwest, down South. He wanted to corner the market. He didn't want Ruthless Records to be the way it was anymore, with just having, you know, one group doing its thing from Compton and LA. He wanted to open it up the market. He's like, I need a West Coast, I need an East Coast act. I need to spread it around and to be more diverse than I was before. Because he was trying to cover the market, but they had the West Coast, and that was basically what they wanted. They was partnered with Sony at the time. Barry Corbin met with Eazy E, told him, hey, we've been doing this, but we kind of new to the hip hop thing, and we ready to get going, man. We believe in what you're trying to do, and we behind you 100%. So Eazy E was listening to this record. He met with Ice Cube and talked with Cube for a minute too, and he was trying to get N.w.a. back together. But this Relativity record distribution, Eazy E was gonna make a lot more money with Relativity than he did with Priority Records, and this was gonna fix some of the stuff he was in the red and bring him back to the black. So going through this whole process, he looked around trying to find out which was the best deal for him. So while going through this process, trying to figure out which is the best deal that he could get as Eric Wright, and he running across M.O.P, they were like, let's kind of consider who we finna sign here. So when he got the Relativity deal, he got Bone Thugs, brought Bone Thugs over. He had his debut, Its Own album, come out. And off the strength of that, he was getting ready to turn over the market and put out the debut album, because the Creeping on the Come Up LP, the EP sold 2 million copies when nobody even knew who Bone was, and they just came out of nowhere and flipped the game on top of his head. So different times, but still the same results. M.O.P at this time didn't know Eazy E was looking into them. They was mad the album didn't take off. So while M.O.P is sitting over there kicking, they kicking mad because they ain't getting the distribution and nothing that's promised to them, that was supposed to come from their manager over there at Select. So they was ready to go smack up the managers. Alleged, because they ain't pushing their records out, man. And they was like, man, Select, that's an independent label. They really ain't got the paper like that. And they was like, man, why they fronting on this, man? Because they told us they had it. So they was like, man, we got to deal with Elektra. So you got to go through Elektra Records, to get, your distribution going on. Then, it was too much red tape, and they wasn't going to make it. Select was like the 80s. That was they run. When they got to the 90s, they was getting ready to phase on out. They wasn't putting out that many projects, and it was like, man, we don't have the money to keep pushing out these projects. So they went to a place that, because they used to have like side acts. Really, the only thing that really blew up for them, because they were a side act company, they were really terrible with distribution. They had opened up with UTFO. Roxanne, I want to be your man. They started out with them, which opened the door for them to have Kid and Play. So they had Kid and Play on there, and they really screwed them up as well. So every group they've had, they screwed up. You'd be like, man, why they didn't blow up? Because they don't know what they're doing, and they didn't have the money to go anywhere. So when you see people leave, this is why. They've had Chug Rock on the label since the 80s, all the way to the end. Who remembers Chug Rock albums? That's how bad it was. So when M.O.P got there, they knew right then and there, we got to lead them. These dudes cannot help us. After we just gave them an album, we got a record deal with Select, they cannot help us. You know, and it's too bad. It's just, they just didn't know how to market. They wanted to get into the hip-hop game. That's how they started. They just didn't know what to do. And it was bad. But the most success they had was with the Kid and Play album. Everybody else did all right. Like the AMG, ain't gonna have my money. When did you see another AMG album? You know, that's what I'm saying. That album was hitting. It took like 3-4 more years before you had Ballin' Out of Control, which got no play, no promotion, no nothing, because they was with a crazy record company. You know, so just gotta tell people, you gotta watch your contracts. But Eazy E was very vested into signing M.O.P. He was just waiting for the right moments, but he wanted to sign M.O.P. and had a second album over there. They would have been a part of Ruthless Records, and you would have had Annie Up blow up New York on Ruthless Records. That would have been crazy. M.O.P. on Ruthless Records, that would have been super crazy. And, you know, you sad to see Eazy go the way he did, because this thing would have blew him up to the max. Straight like that. So, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Just wanted to give y'all a little update on some history in hip-hop. Peace.